Okay, thanks, Chris, again for that amazing introduction. So yeah, I hope everyone's really enjoying the conference. This is day 2, of course, so we've still got another half a day or so left. But we really wanted to take the time today, myself and my good friend Zia, to make a really special announcement at BlockDown 3.0. And basically that announcement is that myself and Zia are basically going to be putting together a new entity called MatterBlock, which will fuse both EAK and my prowess in the kind of PR marketing and comms space with Zia's really, really great experience and knowledge in the kind of investing and VC realm. So honestly, I decided to kind of partner with Zia on this because, Zia's been a really, really great help on a number of projects in the past with us. And she's somebody that, I believe will really, really come together with the skill set that I have, that I can bring to the table, that can really, really help accelerate our projects grow. So yeah, like we really wanted to make that announcement today that MatterBlock is the new entity that me and Zia are starting. And yeah, Zia, over to you for some words.
Yeah, thanks, Erhan. I'm sorry. I don't know why I plugged that up. Yeah, so I'm really excited to be joining with Erhan on this enterprise, because one of the things that I've found when I'm working with a lot of the projects that I work with in order to raise money is that they need that extra bit of help with marketing and with PR, and I help them a lot on the strategy and networking side and the investment side, fundraising. But strategy, PR and marketing is a huge deal, as we all know in the crypto space. It's a massive deal to build community, and I know Erhan's really experienced in that and has elevated tons of projects in the past. So really what we're doing is building a really holistic offering to projects, which will help take them to the next level. And that's a really compelling piece that we've got with MatterBlock. So I'm super excited to be doing it with Erhan. We've been working together kind of in the background for a few months, and we've known each other for a while now. So it's really great to kind of partner with a friend on something and take exciting projects that we've come across to the next step. So yeah, I'm really really excited to announce it here, because obviously if you've got a project that you would like to potentially work with us on, then feel free to reach out to us. We've got a very basic site up, but you can contact us on matterblock.com, and we will get back in touch with you and certainly take on board your projects if we feel they're the right fit for us.
And then another thing that really attracted me to work with Zia was, she's had multiple successive exits in the past, and she's helped raise tens of millions of capital, which is something as a comms guy I haven't really touched. It's something that when our clients talk about, they work with completely external people that I've never heard of, and I think it's really important for kind of companies and projects and clients. As we as EAK, as an agency that I've been working on, when we kind of started off with the PR piece, but then we've kind of naturally kind of really gone into other areas like business development, and making really strategic introductions that have nothing to do with PR, but ultimately are really, really important to a client's business. And of course, raising money and having capital to spend is so important. I mean, obviously that is, without that, there's no projects. So we really felt by kind of merging, the kind of comm side and the investment side, and having that under one roof, under one, a company as MatterBlock, ultimately, that the synergy that provides a project, especially just between the two of us and me and Zia, would be really, really advantageous of them to work with us for. So I don't know, Zia, I think maybe maybe we could talk a little bit about the kind of process of how it would work, right? Because of course, from the investment side, you would be kind of taking a lot of the work on at the beginning, and of course I'd be advising, but maybe we should talk about the kind of life cycle that projects would get if they decide to work with us.
Yeah, definitely. I think, one of the things that you touched on is a little bit about our networks and stuff. And I think combining our networks and our advisory in the very beginning's really key. But what we would do is you know, we won't be taking on every single project that comes to us. Of course, we'll be selective. We've been around the blocks enough to know, you know, what makes a good project and what doesn't. So you know, so we certainly will be selective about that, because of course it's, you know, our neck's on the line as well with our investors, with our network. So, you know, we'll certainly look at a lot of projects, but we will be selective with that. So first of all, you know, between us, we'll be measuring the potential success of a project, and we'll take them on board, and it will start off with obviously some pretty top line advisory, understanding what they already have and what they need. So from my perspective, quite a lot of the time we'll have, you know, I'll have startups come to me, or projects come to me, and they're at a certain level, they think they're ready to raise kind of money from VCs or from funds, from crypto funds and digital asset funds, and they might not be quite so ready as they believe. So I'll certainly do an assessment around what they need to get to that stage to be investor ready to take their projects to investors. So that's a level that we start with there. And then moving on from that, obviously, once they're at that stage, we'll take them out to market and start to actively raise funds for them. You know, with a touch on obviously advising them throughout that process and creating a strategy around that as well, based on what kind of outcomes that they want. You know, so we'll work pretty closely with them on that. And then of course with an eye to what your team does and what you can kind of do alongside that and ongoing after that. So obviously you can talk a bit more about that particular process.
Yeah, of course. So once Zia's you know, raised the money, of course, it kind of gets handed over to kind of from my side of things. So we are literally lighting the touch paper on the project. So we're getting, you know, as much PR as possible, working with influencers and KOLs across the globe. We're really getting as much kind of social engagement to those projects. We're hitting them up on the events that we organize, and of course that we work with as well as a major partner, as a PR agency, in speaking, getting them the best deals on exhibition stands, but of course making sure that's all done in an intelligent way. Like, we're not there to waste money, we're there to basically get the best deals for our clients and also get the best message and narrative across from a PR person. So I think it's very difficult to find these days, to find a kind of PR comms person that also has business now at the same time. Usually sometimes they get stuck in the narrative too much and they're not so much thinking about the business objectives. But from my side, from the EAK side that I bring to the table, really kind of looking at those business goals that you have, seeing how we can really put a kind of PR marketing plan together, not just for like, you know, 6 months, 3 months, for like, you know, for years to come, that will build a really sustainable community for that project and ultimately fuel their growth into a really successful project. So, and of course, you know, even once Zia's raised the money, you know, she's still going to be around advising, offering her input, and vice versa for us as well. Of course, there's going to be PR elements and comms elements, but even before, you know, during the raise time as well. So, you know, Zia's somebody that, you know, that I really trusted, and I've seen the amazing work that she's put in. And I feel like she really fits the same values that I have as a businessman and as EAK as an agency. And I think us two working in tandem for Matterblock, it really has a great opportunity for projects to really supercharge their growth. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And I think, you know, from your side, your point of view with the marketing and PR and everything, and then I have obviously a view of business strategy and kind of internal on the background of the product and how they want to get there with that. So, you know, that advisory continues on and works alongside with Erhan's marketing, and so there's certainly that level of commitment from us. And I think what's different about us as a team for Matterblock is that it's rare to find a team out there who can kind of holistically help you with everything that you need to get your project to the next level, but also has an understanding from having actively done it. We're not just fly-by-night people. We've actually done this before. You know, we've come from these backgrounds. I've been an entrepreneur. Erhan's obviously an entrepreneur himself with building EAK. So we understand what it takes. And with that in mind, that's really important when you're going out to market, but also when you're raising money, when you're building your business. So it's really that's a really compelling piece, I think, for Matablock, because we understand what it takes, and we're not just advisors who only have that advisory title. We really understand the businesses.
Yeah, exactly. And and another thing, Zia, I mean, ever since we started BlockDown, Zia has been putting together all the panels for all the VCs and investors. She did an amazing fireside chat with Nancy Pompiano yesterday. So those of you that missed that, that'll be on YouTube next week. So do look out for that one, as well as the panel that she did with Consensus Ventures. Those connections are really vital to any project that would like to gain capital and get exposure to. And I think working with Matablock is that shortcut to success, really. Yeah, and then just to touch upon another thing, obviously Zia, you're located out in Australia. I'm currently in the UK, so we're complete opposite sides of the world. But having said that, we are obviously talking on a daily basis, connecting every day. But also it means that we can kind of have our kind of circuits, make sure we have the world covered from each side. Make sure that if there's something going on in your area of the world, you're going to be over there, or my area of the world, we've got people here. So I think there's just lots of complementary networks and also, but most importantly, and I think as I touched upon in my talk yesterday, we are innovative and creative in the way that we do our PR and marketing campaigns. We are dedicated and most importantly passionate about the projects that we decide to take on. As Zia said, we're not going to take on every project. In fact, we're not going to take on many projects. We're just going to select a few projects, or maybe even one or two to begin with, that we really are passionate about, that we really see legs in, and we're going to give that everything. So this is a really amazing opportunity for projects to get in touch with either myself or with Zia, and to discuss your project and really see how far we think we could make it fly with with all of our efforts.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, to touch on that, for us, it's important that we see as much success in the projects we take on as possible. I'm not going to, there's an element of us working together, and obviously in deciding on the projects that we work on. 50-50 we'll decide on that, but we both have to think that the project will be a success. So it needs to be able to raise money. So I'm not going to take a project to an investor that they won't like, because quite frankly it's not to anyone's benefit. So it's really it's not just from the project side, but from investor side, one of the key things they look for is really good deal flow. And for us, it's a really actually really good to work closely with VCs, because they like to have that element of a warm introduction, and they like to have the element of somebody who's already taken a look at this company and knows that there's something there to be introduced to. So, and on top of that, having Erhan's skills with PR and marketing just adds an extra element for them to get excited about as a VC. So there's a lot there, and as Erhan said, there's a lot of opportunity. We won't take every project, but do get in touch with us, because we're excited to see what kind of projects that we get, and we're really keen to get started and work with you on this.
Yeah, so it's been really great sharing this announcement. So just to kind of wrap this up, if you are a project and you're thinking right now, you're not sure about how you're going to raise the capital for the amazing idea and project that you have in mind. You're not sure maybe on your go-to-market strategy. You're not entirely sure about how to do PR campaigns, or maybe you are, but you want to focus on your product. You want to work with the professionals that have worked on this day in, day out, have that experience of raising, exiting, working with the best projects in crypto, doing these amazing events, working with KOLs across the world. Then do get in touch with us. We'd be happy to hear about your project and evaluate that. And obviously, if it's a fit, I mean, Zia see a lot of potential in it, then there's potentially we'll take it on and really drive your growth. So I really do think that it's a great opportunity for for one or two of those exciting projects. So in order to get in touch with us, just head over to matablock.com, fill out the form. One of us will get back in touch with you, and really looking forward to hearing from everyone. So yeah, thanks for your time, BlockDown, and have a great conference, everyone.